Look at this. Yellow leaves, edges curling up like a taco shell, fruit dropping onto the ground before it's even ripe. If you've ever stood in your backyard staring at your lemon tree, or your orange tree, or that little potted lime on the patio, wondering what on earth you did wrong, stick around. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through every single citrus tree problem you're realistically going to run into, what's actually causing it, and exactly what to do about it. By the end, you'll be able to look at a sick citrus tree and read it like a book. And before we start, here's something nobody tells beginners. This happens to everybody. I don't care if you've been growing citrus for 2 years or 20. These trees are drama queens. They will absolutely show you the second something's wrong, almost always through their leaves first. So this isn't a sign you're a bad plant parent. It's just the tree talking. We're going to learn how to translate it. Let's start with the number one complaint: yellow leaves. And here's the thing. Yellow isn't one problem. It's at least 5 different problems wearing the same disguise, so you have to look closer. If the whole tree looks pale and a little droopy, all over, every leaf, that's almost always overwatering. Citrus hates sitting in soggy soil. Stick a finger 2 inches into the dirt. If it's still wet, hold off on watering and check your drainage. If the leaves are a uniform, washed out yellow-green but the soil is fine, that's usually a nitrogen deficiency. Citrus trees are heavy nitrogen feeders. They need it to push out leaves and fruit both. Now, if you see a leaf with a green V-shape right in the middle of it and yellow fading out toward the edges, that's a magnesium deficiency, and it almost always shows up on the older, lower leaves first because the tree pulls magnesium out of old growth to feed new growth. The fix here is shockingly simple. 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt, that's magnesium sulfate, dissolved in a gallon of water sprayed directly on the leaves. You'll usually see improvement within a couple of weeks. If instead you see yellowing between the veins while the veins themselves stay sharp and green, especially on new growth, that's iron deficiency, also called chlorosis. A liquid iron fertilizer applied right to the soil around the roots will usually fix it within a month. And 2 more to rule out: not enough direct sun. Citrus wants 6 to 8 hours of full sun a day, and leaves will look pale and lackluster without it. And being root-bound in a pot, where the roots are so cramped they can't pull nutrients properly anymore. If your tree's been in the same container for 3+ years, that might be your answer. But yellow leaves are only half the story. The shape of the leaf is about to tell you something completely different, and one version of this is so easy to miss that most people blame the wrong thing entirely. If the leaves are cupping inward, almost like a little canoe, that's usually drought stress, the tree pulling moisture out of its leaves to protect itself. Check the soil. If it's bone dry, give it a long, deep drink. If you see the leaf curling at just the tip, paired with that yellow V-shape we talked about, that's the same magnesium or potassium deficiency showing up in a different way. But here's one that surprises people. Flip the leaf over. If the edge is rolled tightly inward and you see thin, silvery, squiggly trails underneath, that's not a deficiency at all. That's citrus leaf minor. It's a tiny moth that lays eggs on new growth, and the larvae literally tunnel through the leaf tissue, leaving those trails behind. It mostly targets young, tender leaves on younger trees. Pick off and dispose of the worst affected leaves, don't compost them, and when you see new flush growth coming in, spray preventively with neem oil or insecticidal soap. Mature trees shrug this off easily. It's really only a serious problem on trees under a couple years old. Now let's talk about drop. Leaves, blossoms, or fruit falling off the tree. This is your citrus tree's stress response. Full stop. When a citrus tree gets overwhelmed by drought, by cold, by nutrient deficiency, by anything, the very first thing it does is stop fruiting. It'll drop blossoms, drop young fruit, sometimes drop leaves entirely, and put all its remaining energy into just staying alive. There's actually a strategic version of this you want to do on purpose. If you've got a young citrus tree, under 2 or 3 years old, and it's trying to hold onto 3 or 4 pieces of fruit, go ahead and pluck most of them off. I know it feels wrong, but a young tree that's forced to ripen fruit will sacrifice trunk growth, branch structure, and root development to do it, and you'll end up with a smaller, weaker tree for years. Let it focus on growing up first. The fruit will come. And on the flip side, if you've got an older, clearly struggling tree that's covered in pale, sickly leaves, but somehow still hanging onto a bunch of fruit, strip that fruit off too. A sick tree pouring its last reserves into ripening fruit it can't actually support is just digging itself a deeper hole. Now, not every citrus problem comes from inside the tree. Sometimes it's something landing on it from outside. And this next one is one of the most common things you'll ever deal with. If you notice a dusty blackish film coating your leaves, almost like soot, that's exactly what it's called, sooty mold. Here's what's actually happening. Sap-sucking insects, usually aphids or scale, feed on your leaves and excrete a sticky residue called honeydew. Sooty mold is a fungus that grows on top of that honeydew. It's not directly hurting the tree, but it blocks sunlight from reaching the leaf surface, and over time the tree just starts to struggle. The fix is 2 steps. First, deal with the bugs causing the honeydew in the first place. A strong jet of water to knock aphids off, repeated every few days, followed by neem oil or insecticidal soap to keep them from coming back. And quick tip, if you've got aphids, check for ants too. Ants actually farm aphids for that sweet honeydew and will protect them, so an ant problem and an aphid problem usually travel together. Second, take a rag and some soapy water and physically wipe the sooty residue off the leaves so they can photosynthesize properly again. It's tedious, but it makes a real difference. Bugs and mold you can fix with a hose and a bit of patience, but there's a threat on this list that has nothing to do with pests, nothing to do with bugs, and depending on where you live, it might be the one most likely to actually kill your tree. If you're anywhere that gets a real winter, frost is going to be your biggest threat. Cold-damaged leaves often look blotchy or water-stained, and in bad cases they'll brown and die outright. A few ways to protect your tree before a hard freeze. Water the soil the day before. Damp soil actually holds heat better and is less likely to freeze solid than dry soil. Wrap the trunk in cardboard or a frost blanket, since trunk damage is the most serious kind. And if your citrus is in a container, start moving it indoors gradually a few weeks before your first hard freeze, a few hours a day at first, so it isn't shocked by the light change all at once. A south-facing window or a grow light, if you've got one, will keep it happiest through winter. Everything we've covered so far, your tree can recover from. But there's one more possibility. Rarer, but serious enough that you need to know how to recognize it the moment you see it. Quick but important note. Most citrus problems are fixable with what we just covered. But if you ever see leaves with a blotchy, asymmetrical yellow mottling that doesn't match the vein pattern, lopsided and bitter fruit, and the tree declining despite everything looking otherwise fine, that combination can point to citrus greening disease, a bacterial disease spread by a tiny insect called the Asian citrus psyllid. There's no home cure for it. If you suspect it, don't guess. Contact your local agricultural extension office. It's a serious disease for citrus growers as a whole, not just your one tree, so getting it identified properly actually matters. So let's say your tree is genuinely struggling and you want to turn it around. Here's the order of operations that works every time. 1. If it's carrying fruit it can't support, strip the fruit so the tree isn't splitting its energy. 2. Prune out anything dead, damaged or diseased. Clean cuts, no stubs, until what's left is healthy wood and leaves. 3. Feed it. Use a fast-acting organic fertilizer, not the slow-release pellets or spikes. A stressed tree needs nutrients now, not over the next 6 months. 4. Water it deeply like a real rainstorm would, soaking the soil all the way out to the edge of the canopy, not just a quick splash at the trunk. Do those 4 things and most struggling citrus trees bounce back within a season. Here's the thing to remember through all of this. A genuinely healthy citrus tree can shrug off a lot. A cold snap, a few aphids, a missed watering. It's the trees that are already run down that get hit hardest by everything else. So the real long game isn't memorizing every single symptom. It's nailing the basics. Full sun, deep, infrequent watering, regular feeding. Get those right, and most of what we covered today you'll barely ever have to deal with. If this helped you make sense of your own tree, you know what to do. And I'll see you in the next one.